Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor, Ethico.
Handling multiple compliance cases can often feel like navigating a complex labyrinth. Ethico introduces simplicity and intelligence into this chaos with our custom workflow automation. By automatically routing cases based on your unique criteria, we turn the maze into a clear path forward. Envision a compliance process that's not just effective, but also intuitive and adaptable to your needs. It's time to redefine efficiency in your workplace. Embark on this journey of transformation at ethico.com/CPN. Book a demo and explore the white paper by Tom Fox, 2023, The Year in Compliance, to discover a world of seamless compliance management.
The Daily Compliance News for February 15, 2024, the Lock the Doors edition. And we begin with that story from Reuters, Elon Musk claims that Delaware locked the doors to stop companies from leaving. He says that move your company out of Delaware before they lock the doors. So, did Delaware do so? Of course not. Idiotic statement by Elon Musk. Next up from the Hill, a very interesting birthday celebration of the 21st anniversary of the OECD Anti-Bribery Convention, which went into force among members back in 1999. In short, bribery and corruption cost the world up to $3 trillion annually, and the Bribery Convention of 1999 built on the work of the U.S. in enacting the FCPA back in 1977. Officially called the Convention on Combating Bribery of Foreign Public Officials and International Business Transactions, that's a mouthful. The OECD treaty required signatory companies to criminalize bribery of foreign officials. So the treaty was signed in 1997 and became effective a couple of years later. Next up from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Richard Vandeford reporting that the SEC is bracing for a lot of lawsuits over its climate change rules. SEC head Gary Gensler said they're expecting multiple lawsuits, but added that the SEC is working to craft rules that will hold up to judicial scrutiny. The SEC, of course, has yet to release the final version, first proposed nearly 2 years ago. Where have you been, SEC? But they claim they're making progress. And our final story comes to us from Spotlight on Corruption, a first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News, which obtained a copy of the Mozambique Tuna Bond settlement agreement with Credit Suisse and 11 other financial institutions, exposing for the first time the cost paid to creditors to avoid the trial in this matter. And it turned out it was some $130 million in agreed payments. So finally, we got some information on the settlement on the Mozambique Tuna Bond scandal of several years back. In the month of February, the Compliance Podcast Network is sponsored by Ethico. Are you struggling to close cases? Well, Ethico is here for you. Take advantage of their innovative approach to empathetic issue intake, streamlined case management, and enterprise-wide disclosures. Learn more about how you can crowdsource risk management at scale at ethico.com/CPN. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.